Welcome to Getting a Grip on Things with I am James, the thinking contractor, and the underpaid producer, Elijah Edwards. We have a phenomenal show for you guys today. Today we're going to be talking about post-2020. What was life like after the virus?
Oh my gosh.
Am I allowed to say that?
Dun, dun. Probably not.
Yeah, after the whatever that was.
The predicament.
Yeah, I walked into Bell Tire today, and there was one lady sitting with 30 people with a mask tied so tight around her face. It was awesome. I just looked at her.
I see that still all the time.
Yeah.
Like if I'm in a store or a gas station and someone is looking at me like I have the plague.
Well, dude, I don't know. I don't even it's never registered with me, like, as far as like a sign of intelligence. It's just, anyway. What do you think my glasses I picked up at the gas station?
I think they protect you from all viruses.
Yeah. I'm not protecting my mouth. I'm protecting my eyes these days. That's all. I don't care what I breathe in. I'm just trying to guard what I see.
Oh, just wait. Just wait. We've got some interesting stuff going on today.
Yeah.
So
This is my face mask for 2023. It's a pair of awful 1984
they're not awful.
No,
they're amazing.
They cost me like $9, but this is my eye masks. I am wearing an eye mask to protect my vision from the garbage that's just it's worse than anything that you could ever throw at me is the stuff that I have to look at on a daily basis.
Oh gosh. Just delete TikTok.
Yep.
Don't
Oh,
keep
I
it.
did.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
So today, obviously, we're going to be talking about. There's no other word. We'll just say 2020. We're trying not to get struck down by the social media gods, Google and Mark Zuckerberg, the Zuck. But obviously, this is going to be a very touchy subject for the fact checkers. So you know how they act when it comes to these things. So
Let's just throw out a bunch of stuff, see if they can catch it.
They will. They will.
Dude, before we get into that, let's talk about you real quick. How much weight have you lost?
I've lost, overall since June, I've lost 15 pounds.
That's amazing, dude.
So yeah, I was told yesterday that I look thinner, but I don't feel thinner. You know?
I haven't.
I'm like, when I look at myself, I'm like, I don't look thinner.
I generated an AI photo of you, of what you used to look like. You can pull that up.
Now I have to go dig through our texts and show it.
Anyway, dude, I hate AI. I can't. I'm up at 1 o'clock in the morning texting you stupid pictures. I'm generating things like.
Yeah, you came in today and you're like, have you seen my photos that I made of you? And I'm like, no. And you're like, dude, you got to watch the stuff I send. I'm like, you send it at like 1 a.m. Our stories of where we were and how we found out about the whole COVID. I got to be careful about saying that. We're going to say that a lot, though. Like the government shutdowns, what that looked like, and what our immediate response was to that. That's what I was most curious about.
Let's change the word from that to coded. Coded.
Okay.
Koded Nonteen. Koded
Nonteen.
Koded Nonteen. I don't think we'll get busted on that. Koded Nonteen.
I'm writing it down.
Yep, I got it down too.
Koded Nonteen. I gotta remember it.
Post Koded Nonteen.
The only way to get away with it in 2023.
But coded needs to be spelled with a K. Coded.
Oh yeah.
Koded Nonteen. All right.
I added the K.
Okay, here we go. What do we got?
Well, no, I'm asking you.
I don't know. Dude, you did the show, not me.
No, that you just completely ignored. I'm asking you where you were, what your response was.
Oh, you're talking to me. Hold on. I
Yeah.
gotta take these glasses off, dude. I can unprotect myself now.
Yeah, we're safe here.
Man, look how old I am.
This is a safe space.
Okay, let's talk about this. So 2020, lost my case. I lost the.
Yeah, which we'll get into that because people watching this might not know.
Yeah.
But James, or as I call him, Jim, affectionately and with love.
Mm-hmm. In Hebrew.
He was in a lawsuit for a long time, and it just got rejected. And it has to do with the mask mandates and unconstitutional mandates. And it's a long story, but I do want to kind of get where you were coming from originally before we get into the whole Manchester debacle.
Yeah. Like, are you talking about like how I felt about?
No, how you found out. Where were you?
Oh,
when you found out about the news about the government shutting down.
Okay, so listen,
like the masks.
This is crazy, dude.
Not going out anywhere. Businesses shutting down.
Yeah, let me get into that. So I had, prior to this happening, I had made a video on the Thinking Contractors page on YouTube and Facebook, and my video basically called out the fact that where were the Hong Kong protesters? Where did they go? And I showed, I was like one of the first people to show the satellite imagery of while they were shut down in China. We weren't shut down. These heat signatures that were just blazing over and Hong Kong just shut down.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, so I said I call BS. I think that this is some garbage. And then fast forward a little bit, I started mocking it and I said, look, man, this stuff's coming. It's coming to America. And nobody was saying, they're like, oh, it's over in China. And the whole time the Democrats were like, it's a joke. Back then they weren't on board for shutting down, right?
Yeah, and I think it's funny because I remember my wife telling me about all this happening, and she's like, look, they're building all these hospitals in China, and I'm like, I personally thought, I'm like, that's never going to happen in America. Like, it's not going to affect us in any way. Like, who cares? Like, maybe our stuff will get over here less quickly, but honestly, that won't affect much.
I honestly think it was all about the psyop of the head game of building up to bring it over here and across the world. But, so then I remember my kids come home and they're like cheering and they're like, we got school off. And I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, COVID. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And then, that's when it all started. And I honestly was like devastated because I knew, number one, that the freedom of conservatism, or at least during that 4-year Trump era garbage where they just nonstop attacked this guy, I knew it was over.
Yeah.
I called it. I said, Trump's done. Because of this, they're going to remove him.
Yeah.
And, people say whatever you want. That in a nutshell is what allowed them to turn the tide. I mean, we watched some very funky things happening during election that we never did before, but it's a pandemic, and it's a pandemic, you got to stand here, and it's a pandemic, you got to cover this, and hey, guess what? It's a pandemic, you got to shut down your we did crap that we would have never done, and they used fear, and it was all bullshit, and I'm calling it bullshit because we shouldn't have shut down. We shouldn't have obeyed any of that garbage. None of them buttholes have any of that power. We gave it to them.
Yeah, and I
every
think
way.
So before I respond to that, I was in my apartment, right? And I'll talk about a bit of my story later of my health complications in COVID.
Yeah.
I was in my apartment. I had a friend over. We were doing work or whatever. I had literally just moved, and like moved out, was on my own. And my wife was there. Well, we were engaged at the time. And she's like, Elijah, they're going to shut down this week and school's going to be off. She's like, we're not going to be able to get gas. But it was like freaking out, taking our vehicles to get gas across the street before everything shut down. So she was freaking out. And I'm like, that is a bunch of BS. I do not care. And then it happened. And everything shut down. And I was like, what is going on? I was blown away. And at first, I feel like everybody was kind of freaked out.
Oh, for sure.
I didn't see my wife because we got married during COVID. I didn't see my wife for 3 months.
Wow.
Before we got married, because I saw her the day before, because her dad was a nurse.
Yeah.
In, I think, the ICU or whatever. So they weren't allowed to go anywhere. I wasn't allowed to go near them.
Can I ask what her dad thinks about all this?
I don't know. I feel like he is definitely more on the side of COVID is a real thing. I mean, obviously, I believe it's a real thing, but I think he was pro shutdowns and everything.
Wow,
so
that's nuts.
Yeah, so I mean, that's where he's at, but so that's what I remember at the very beginning.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. I washed some groceries with a wet wipe.
Yeah,
totally embarrassing to say that out loud. I'm such an idiot, dude. My kids are laughing at me.
The same thing that you used to wipe your ass with. You're wiping groceries down with.
Hand sanitizer, squirting watermelons, going, what in the F am I doing right now? This is so dumb.
I remember the first time that we got groceries and my wife was like, remember the whole toilet paper thing? When there were just aisles and aisles of no toilet paper?
I was, listen, so mad about that.
I bought, literally, my wife and I went shopping, and we were at the store. This is my first time actually really shopping like an adult. And she goes, you know what? Why don't you just buy like a bunch of toilet paper so you don't have to get it every week? And I was like, that's so smart. And I bought like a stockpile of it, like at a Sam's Club.
Did you think that toilet paper was going to be short?
No.
I
lived like a king.
You prophesied.
It was like God provided for me. There's no problems at all.
And ye shall stock the TP high and deep for 40 days, and you were obedient.
God, if I need to move on this, supply me with toilet paper. That's how I'll know. A never-ending roll.
Dude, I would just go to we were going to the dollar store and buying socks and just wiping our butts with them. And I'm just kidding, dude. I'm just kidding. It was readily available. Dollar store socks at the Dollar Tree.
The new toilet paper.
Yep, non-flushable.
Just throw them out. Yeah. Just put them in the burn pile.
Yep.
So I mean, that really gets into I'm curious. I know people are probably curious since you mentioned it earlier about the whole thing that went down at Manchester.
Yeah.
And I know we're a bit limited for time, but just kind of give like a summary of what had happened.
Yeah, basically our kids walked in unmasked after the first year of the BS, and they said, we're done. They got lambasted, basically. It went viral. It went worldwide, literally.
It got your accounts banned.
All of them. Every one of them. It also caused me to file a lawsuit of violation of constitutional rights for my daughter, and that went on the news, and they put it all out there. We got attacked. I had reporters showing up at my home. We were on a lot of the kids that protest. They tried to downplay it. You can go back over the history and see what we did, but basically, we got the lawsuit going. It went on for 3 years, and they remanded it, which means that they said you had to fix some stuff, and they kept pushing it out. And then the final time it basically was closed with prejudice by Ann Arbor. We went after the health department, basically saying, no, you can't do this to us. We didn't violate any constitutional rights. And if I want to redo the lawsuit, I can spend another $5,000, retain an attorney, start the whole process over again. And here's the thing. I can do that. And a lot of people are telling me, why didn't you stick with it? Spend the money. I've had people tell me, you could just do it, represent yourself. No. Here's the reason why. We are buried. Our criminal system is completely running the world right now. And I can get sanctioned. I am not wasting my time or my money or my family's well-being to be sanctioned by a corrupt justice system. It's corrupt.
I don't blame you.
Through and through. I'm done fighting. I'm done fighting it that way. I will talk about it, and they will censor us. They hate the fact that we are fighting what they did for 3 years. And now nobody's talking about it at all. So Koded Nonteen essentially has not happened at all. And nobody's talking. And now it's like, do you remember when we survived that? Survived what? Give me a break. This is such
sitting in your what was it, like your bubble?
Yeah.
Your social cluster.
Listen, and they've got us so to a point where anything that we say, they're going to question and go, well, you don't know. I had a family member that got sick and died. Yes, a lot of family members got sick and died. A lot of people have gotten sick and died from the jab. But we're not allowed to talk about that.
Yeah, and we'll get into that.
Yeah.
I'm more curious to know how Anthony's response was to all this. I know we've talked about ours. We need to hear from Anthony.
Let's ask Tony.
Hello.
Tony, what's going on, brother?
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Koded Nonteen, when that happened, What did you do when you first found out about Koded Nonteen and they were shutting everything down? What did you think and what did you do?
Well, at first, remember how we got shut down on that job? That was the first I really heard about it.
That's true. But you were also 3 weeks behind everybody. You hold on, dude. That is the truth. It was going. Everybody had been shut down, but Anthony had no idea what it was. Do you remember that, Anthony? I had to explain it to you.
I didn't. Yeah, I really didn't know what it was. And to me, it still doesn't. Somehow I was positive, and then I remember that on the 45-minute drive home. I mean, it came on to me like a ton of bricks. It's like they drugged me or some shit.
Who's they?
The reptilians. Somebody.
What was your mask of choice?
You didn't wear one.
I had a mustache. I'm Italian, and I have like really thick nose hair. And to me, I feel like that did a better job of filtering those particulates than that bullshit did.
He's not joking. He's not joking. Anthony was hardcore like me from the very beginning. Oh yeah, in honor of this show though, of the Koded Nonteen, I'm gonna drink here. Everything through a little syringe. Brought a little syringe.
Oh, is that from your coffee?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a steak juice for a second.
Oh, I did have some of that earlier. Just everything should be. I just after all that, I think everything should just be injected through a syringe. Yeah, it's
nice.
Just safer that way.
Yeah, I feel safer anyways.
Anyway,
I did want to share something from the Manchester incident. I found an article. I can't remember what page it was on, but this is what somebody had said. Whoever is in charge of the school district. Not following the mask mandate is a violation of district code of conduct and is an act of insubordination. Students violating the code of conduct were disciplined, he said, but the incident was more of an educational piece in making sure they understood their behavior had to change.
Right.
That is the whole theme of anybody with any of the mandates, any of the shutdowns. It's been about control, and that's what they want.
Yep.
And they wanted to take away your rights, and I feel like it was almost kind of an experiment to see how much they could get away with.
For sure. And that butthole that wrote that, I know him. He's an absolute dipshit. That guy deserves to. I mean, he enjoyed the power move.
That's
on
so
that.
sad.
He's on the news. That turd needs to be in prison. And I'll go on the record. If anybody needs to go to a holding facility, it's that guy for violating constitutional rights of children and parents.
Yeah.
Not to mention the school boards across the U.S. that just sat there like ineffectual turds with no spines and just fell into place.
That's what most people do.
Yep. So, dude, it's like that whole thing was just absolutely disgusting to watch. They'll stand up. They'll stand up in unison and cry and fight you, throw you off the property to let your kid that's a boy want to be a girl and take a dump next to your daughter. But they won't. Nobody stood up for constitutional rights in this U.S. of A. of ours.
Yeah, and nobody talks about it. I mean, let's talk about the Koded side effects.
Yep.
What you need to know: side effects after getting the vaccine, the jab, can vary from person to person. Some people just experience a little discomfort and continue to go about their day. Others have side effects that affect their ability to do daily activities. Adverse events, serious health problems are rare, but can cause long-term health problems. What?
Yeah. When did this come out?
This is on the CDC's site.
Oh, they updated it. That's nice.
In May.
I wonder what it said in 2020. Nothing.
Yeah.
Perfectly safe. Do what you're told.
Yeah, I know,
Dude.
I know. Not only did there was negative health effects. I had a what?
I'm just reading that I've never seen that.
Yeah, I know.
That is irritating, but it's comical because
May 5th, 2023.
Koded Nonteen lives rent-free in my brain because I am so pissed about what we went through for the past 3 years.
I know.
I haven't forgotten. I talk to people that are like, what are you talking about? They made us wear masks? Like, are you serious? Like, nobody wants to even talk about it. So
I know that it's completely out of the news cycle now. Go going into shutdowns, I wanted to touch on how I was affected medically. So I had a huge health problem, a chronic illness, an autoimmune disorder.
Yep.
And I had a fever from it. I was, this is not an exaggeration. I was on my bed that morning, crying, sobbing from pain. I was bleeding profusely. It was horrible. So I was like, I had to drive myself to the hospital.
Right.
They didn't let me in to the hospital for an hour. I had to lay out in a staging area and wait for them to get my coded results back. And then I got rolled into my own room because I couldn't be near anybody else since I had a fever. And they didn't even think about my fever being caused from an infection.
Nope.
Or just, being sick. But I could have been on death's door, and I had to wait 5 hours to be helped, to be given medicine. I wasn't given medicine to help with my pain for 5 hours. I was in the hospital that day for 10 hours total.
That's messed up, dude.
Yeah, and let alone people who couldn't see their family members dying in the hospital.
Yeah, but how did you feel about their TikTok videos of them dancing? They had time for that shit. You remember that?
Yes, I
remember
do.
all them stupid dance videos? Friggin' eating cheeseburgers, trying to convince... Dude, the whole thing... Yeah, okay. Anyway. So...
Oh my gosh. I do want to show some clips of kind of people in the government, their response to it. One of them will be conservatives' favorite presidential candidate, Ron DeSantis. So we'll get into these clips.
He's backed by the Bushes.
What Bush?
The right and the left. I don't know. Both Bushes.
The president believes there needs to be an independent investigation, one that's run by the international
This is about the
community.
lab leaks.
Even as the Biden administration continues its call for a fuller WHO-led investigation into the origins of COVID-19, new reports have surfaced that Biden's team shut down a closely held State Department effort launched late in the Trump administration to prove the virus originated in a Chinese lab.
So now everybody's gone. They've done a complete 180 on that.
It's so
It's
stupid.
racist.
Yep. We're not allowed to bring that up, though. It's probably hard to find a lot of this stuff, too.
Oh,
Like
I know. Well, they only did that because of Trump saying the China virus,
Yeah.
And so now I wanted to show you a more recent clip.
Kung flu.
Right now, there is not a consensus. Will there ever be a definitive answer from the Biden administration on the origins of COVID-19, and how much of that is dependent on cooperation from China?
We really do want to know what happened.
Stop.
Because
Just
the
pause it.
president wants to
Pause
make
it right
sure
now. That looks like a man that got half inflated. Like they forgot to fill him up all the way. He doesn't even fit his suit. Who is that guy? The National Security Council Dude, okay. I'm sorry. I don't care. Democrats their people don't look human. That guy just looks terrified that it looks like something that put on a man suit.
He looks like the alien from Men in Black.
Yeah.
I need sugar.
It's just not. Anyway, let this dude talk. I don't even know what he's saying.
posture to prevent any future pandemics, or if not prevent them, to be able to get farther along ahead of them. So we're working very hard to understand this as best we can. Again, there's just no consensus across the government. The work continues, and I'm not going to get ahead of conclusions that haven't been arrived at.
Not going to get ahead.
Basically saying I refuse to answer.
Yeah.
That seems to be a theme with this because people don't want to take accountability for the problems that they put us through. I mean, even if you look at the suicide rates.
Can you imagine jumping up on the microphone saying, "Hey, John, you got to get up there and waste some time." Yeah, I'll do it.
Yep.
Like what he just said is just dumb.
So the suicide rates, 47,000 people committed suicide in 2019, 45,000 in 2020, and 48,000 in 2021.
Wow.
So obviously locking people down in their homes
Yeah.
had a an adverse effect unless you're Anthony. You were sexting all the time.
They've been investing in screen covers. But
Good
listen,
thing Amazon's still around.
were they delivering during that? They're just showing up in like white gloves and a mask. Your screen covers are here, Tony. A box full of them.
Thank God.
Dude, only thing I'm going to say about I interviewed Dr. Scott Atlas, and I got to listen to his speech. And if you want to go to any of the Thinking Contractor or old Getting a Grip On, you'll find it. It's on Facebook. Scott Atlas's, and Elijah was with me.
Yep.
We that was a powerful thing. He called it. He said that doing this is going to be worse than anybody getting sick. And he was right.
Yep.
And that dude was right so much that they erased him. Mm-hmm. Now it's hard to even hear where he's at, what's he's doing. You know, he took a stand. And one thing I'm telling you, the guy's a Democrat. He's a Democrat. And we have proof.
Yeah.
We heard
do.
him.
We do. I'm going to insert that right here.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I don't care what side of the fence you're on. If you think I'm some MAGA whatever, you're wrong. You're wrong, dude. I'm a constitutionalist. I don't care about any of these political parties, left or right. They're both dumb. They're both screwing our country so bad. Time to wake up. So
I want to show this clip of Ron DeSantis.
yes, this guy. I'm sorry. I'm not a DeSantis fan. Good for
Oh,
you,
no,
Ron.
watch this.
Yeah.
This is him appealing to his demographic. That's all it is. That's all politicians do.
Yep.
They don't actually care about the issues, and if they do, they don't give their real
I want to say
real
this,
opinions.
though. I agree with you. I am going to give him kudos for running his state very well during this garbage.
That is true.
But he's a turd.
Yep.
Anyway, go ahead.
Also, the privilege to be able to actually sign for the vaccines from FedEx. Look, it's a single dose. You take it one time. You don't have to worry about it. Florida, to be at almost 50% statewide, that's much better than almost probably 45 or 46 other states. And we're going to give them more because we want the shots to go in the arms. I'm announcing a petition with the Supreme Court of Florida to impanel a statewide grand jury to investigate any and all wrongdoing in Florida with respect to COVID-19 vaccines. The benefit is minuscule, but as Joe Latipo and other studies have shown, there is a risk for doing it. So why can't our medical establishment acknowledge that?
Gosh,
why the
dude.
Deception?
This just makes me sick.
He's playing right into their narrative. He is the narrative.
I'm going to say this right now.
Go ahead.
I'm going to come out, dude. Okay. I'm really angry about this because I ran to try to be the co-chair of the Republican Party
in Michigan.
To try to make some change. I've got a backbone, and it's steel. That's titanium. I will fight. I wanted to fight. Republicans don't want to fight.
No.
Dude, that guy, Ron DeSantis, all of them. And I'm going to lambaste Donald Trump too. I don't give a crap that he's running for president right now.
Not at all.
This dude, Trump, DeSantis, all of them, Biden, all of our leaders, they failed the American people. Don pushing that stupid vaccine during COVID, saying, okay, listen, he did the law. He followed the law, right? He allowed the governors to do what they could do. And he said, it's up to the states. It's up to the states. Do you realize, though, that by doing that, giving them the power, we are in the position we are in right now financially because our chief executive officer didn't have a pair of balls to stand up and take one. Don should have went down. I mean, the guy, they're after him, right? I would have liked to have seen him demonstrate more. I don't need Donald Trump to save me. I don't need any of these elected officials to save me. We, the people, need to save ourselves. I'm so sick of them. Dude, after watching that clip with Ron DeSantis, he's just stupid. I don't care. Oh, what are we going to do? Who are we going to vote for? People, stop putting these weak-ass idiots as your representatives. Seriously. You conservatives, wake up, man. You guys are the worst. The Democrats at least have some balls. Well, whatever. Their ladies have them. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just like they at least fight for what they believe in.
Yeah, they do.
I'm so tired of the two-party system. I'm so tired of the corruption. Like I said, we lost our lawsuit.
Yep.
And I'm done fighting because it's so deep, it's so thick, it's so wide. There is no fighting There's no fighting going through the justice system. There's no justice anymore. We're done. So we are going to have to, at some point, wake up really fast or get broke down to the point where we're so strangled out by, losing our country that we're going to be forced to push back. But nobody's doing anything about it.
Yep. And I just wanted to lighten the mood a little bit with this.
I don't mean to brag. I don't care, but I want you to know, double vaxxed, booster, flu shot.
Oh, so
and
quad.
I'm going to be honest. I have the shingle shot too.
Oh, whatever 5 is.
And I still get my period. What? Yes.
Oh, look at all that blood just left her head.
Traveled, went to Mexico twice, did shows, meet and greets, never got COVID. Clearly, Jesus loves me the most. Seriously.
Here we go.
So nice. So nice.
Dude, you can't. That's. You know what?
Look at all these people just sitting.
Yeah. Oh, Juan came out to help, though. He crossed the border just to pick her up. Dude, he came from Guatemala. Americans just sat there, but Juan came.
This lady is.
What is wrong with you people? Oh, that's racist.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah, we just got terminated.
Yep.
You could
That was probably our last episode.